90-day fiancé, happily ever after? Adnan's plea before the baby arrives. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I hope you are well. Please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Tigerlily sat in the corner of the softly lit living room, her hands resting protectively over her swollen belly. The baby was due in just 5 weeks and every day seemed to move faster and slower all at once. She could hear Adnan pacing in the kitchen, the faint sound of his slippers brushing against the tiled floor. It had become a familiar soundtrack in the past month. Adnan pacing, muttering under his breath, rehearsing what he wanted to say. When he finally emerged, his face was tense, his jaw set in determination. "Tig," he began, his voice low but urgent, "we need to talk before the baby comes." Tigerlily tilted her head, wary. "We've been talking about nothing but the baby for weeks, Adnan. What is it now?" He took a deep breath, sat down across from her and locked eyes with her. "It's about religion. About how we're going to raise our child." Tigerlily already knew where this was going. Adnan had been hinting for months, but she had hoped he would drop it. "We've discussed this," she reminded him. "No," Adnan said firmly, "we've avoided it. And now there's no time left to avoid it. I need you to consider converting to Islam before the baby is born." Tigerlily was raised in a small Midwestern town in the U.S., where Sunday service was as much about community gossip as it was about worship. She had never been particularly religious, but her Christian upbringing had left her with certain traditions she didn't want to abandon entirely. Adnan, on the other hand, was from Amman, Jordan, where religion was woven into daily life. He prayed 5 times a day, fasted during Ramadan, and followed dietary restrictions with discipline. For him, faith wasn't just personal, it was cultural, family identity. Now, sitting in their apartment thousands of miles away from both of their hometowns, those differences felt like an unbridgeable canyon. "I'm not saying you need to change everything about yourself," Adnan insisted. "But it's important to me, to my family, that our child grows up in Islam. And for that, the mother's example matters." Tigerlily sighed. "You want me to change who I am right before I give birth? Do you know how stressful this pregnancy has already been?" Earlier that week, Adnan had a long video call with his mother, Layla. She adored Tigerlily in many ways. She praised her cooking, her warm smile, and her clear love for Adnan. But Layla's tone had grown increasingly sharp about one topic. "You cannot raise a child in 2 religions, she had said, shaking her head. "It will confuse them. The child must have one path. And if the mother is Muslim, it will be natural." Adnan had tried to explain that Tigerlily wasn't against teaching their child about Islam, but Layla was unmoved. "I want to see my grandchild in a proper Muslim home," she insisted. "Promise me you will speak to her." Adnan had promised. And now, that promise was becoming the centerpiece of every tense conversation in their home. Tigerlily remembered when she and Adnan first met. Neither of them had thought about religion as a problem back then. They met in Istanbul while she was traveling for work. He was charming, funny, and had the kind of self-assured presence that drew her in instantly. They spent 3 days walking along the Bosphorus, eating street food and sharing their dreams. At the time, religion had come up briefly, but it was brushed aside as something we'll figure out later. Later had arrived, and it was now. The night after Adnan's kitchen talk, tensions boiled over. "You don't understand what you're asking," Tigerlily snapped, pacing the bedroom. "Conversion isn't just a piece of paper for me. It's a lifetime commitment. It's saying I believe in something I'm still learning about." Adnan's voice rose. "And you don't understand how important this is to me. You think I'm just trying to control you? This is about faith, about family honor. In my culture, the mother's religion matters." "So what happens if I say no?" she challenged, crossing her arms. He hesitated, his face clouding over. "I don't know. But it will break something between us." Tigerlily confided in her best friend, Mariah, who had been with her since high school. Over decaf lattes, Mariah was blunt. "He knew who you were when he married you," she said. "If he wanted a Muslim wife, he should have married one. This is pressure you don't need right now." Meanwhile, Adnan vented to his friend Hamza over WhatsApp. Hamza was equally direct. "She should respect your beliefs. You are the man of the house. If she loves you, she will do this. And your family will never fully accept her otherwise." It was becoming clear. Their friends mirrored their own biases, deepening the divide. On the show, TLC producers captured it all. The awkward silences, the sharp words, the teary late-night confessions. In a sneak peek for next week's episode, the clip ended with Adnan saying, "If you don't convert before the baby is born, I don't know if we can move forward." Fans online erupted in debates. Some accused Adnan of emotional blackmail. Others defended his right to want religious unity. One night, unable to sleep, Tigerlily sat on the couch scrolling through articles about interfaith marriages. Every story seemed to end in compromise, or heartbreak. Adnan emerged from the bedroom rubbing his eyes. "Why are you up?" "I'm scared," she admitted. "Scared that if I say yes I'll lose myself. And if I say no I'll lose you." His shoulders sagged and for the first time in weeks he sat beside her without arguing. "I don't want to lose you either." 2 days later, with cameras rolling again, Adnan brought it up once more. "I love you," he said, "but I need to know before the baby comes. Will you convert?" The room was silent except for the hum of the air conditioner. Tigerlily's heart pounded. She didn't answer, not yet. The episode ended on a cliffhanger with her staring into the camera, eyes brimming with tears. Whether she would convert remained unknown, but one thing was certain. This wasn't just about religion anymore. It was about identity, culture, love, and the sacrifices each was willing to make. And as the due date drew nearer, the stakes had never been higher.
A 90 Day Fiancé cast member is revealing how she is doing after her husband recently died, but her response is concerning. Several 90 Day Fiancé cast members have tragically passed away, shocking fans of the TLC reality show. Notable 90 Day Fiancé deaths include Jason Hitch and Angela Deem's mother. These cast member deaths have sparked emotional tributes online, highlighting the fragile reality behind TLC reality, star lives and fame. The death of a 90 Day Fiancé cast member often leaves surviving partners devastated. Coping with the loss of a partner on reality TV brings emotional trauma and public mourning. Many share their grief journey online, showing how TLC stars manage life after loss and struggle to rebuild emotionally. Mahogany Roker is breaking her silence about her husband, Ben Rathbun's, death in an emotional note. Mahogany recently interacted with her followers on Instagram via a Q&A. When someone asked Mahogany how she was doing now, she replied, "Honestly, Jesus has been my help all this time. He is the one who lifts me up and gives me strength." Mahogany talked about how Jesus helped her get a new identity and also helped her heal. "He restored me," she added. "My heart cries." Mahogany then wrote that there are days when her heart cries for Ben. "But he fills my void," she added. Mahogany gets her strength through prayer. She suggested that her followers turn off their TV sets and talk to your Creator and God. Mahogany wrote, "He waits for you with his arms open," while adding that one shouldn't expect adversity to surprise them, but that they should surprise the adversity from the side of Christ Jesus. 90 Day Fiancé star finally reveals if baby is healthy again after major setbacks. There's good news for a beloved 90 Day Fiancé couple who recently shared that their young daughter had a scary medical scare. David Toborowski and wife Annie Suin originally met during 90 Day Fiancé Season 5, where their unconventional love story was featured. American David was nearly 24 years older than Thai Annie, but against all odds, the two made their love story last. After living child-free for many years, David and Annie welcomed daughter Minthira in March 2025 with the help of in vitro fertilization. The couple has been open about Minthira's health issues, especially a recent bout of RVS that required hospitalization. David recently shared on Instagram that Minthira's back home and doing much better. "Her cough and all the symptoms are gone," he revealed. David added that he and Annie felt the power from everyone's prayers. David's excited post about Minthira's health improving to the point that she's back home with her parents is the best possible outcome. If doctors felt comfortable enough to send Minthira home, she's obviously made significant strides in her recovery. RSV is a common respiratory infection, but it can be particularly dangerous for babies like Minthera. The tricky part about RSV is that the symptoms can often mirror those of a common cold, which makes it harder to diagnose and treat. David and Annie shared heartbreaking footage of Annie's mum getting emotional hearing baby Minthera's cries in the hospital. But now that Minthera is home and safe with her parents, the entire family can relax. Our take on David Annie's latest update about Minthera's health. It's a relief to hear that David and Annie's daughter is already home from the hospital and is recovering from RSV. By sharing the good news on social media, David is letting fans know that all is well in the Toborowski home. David and Annie's fans are a huge source of comfort for the couple, as they've been following their family's journey after David brought Annie to the US on a K-1 visa. While David's older children initially didn't approve of his relationship, they've all come to accept Annie after so many years. David and Annie's first season of 90 Day Fiancé aired in 2017, so they've been in the public eye for years. Fans feel a connection to the couple as they overcame the odds and have managed to stay together all these years. Their large age gap and the standards of living that David brought Annie home to initially are all part of their journey as a family. Welcoming Minthera was the icing on the cake for David and Annie. Her recovery is a blessing, and the 90 Day Fiancé couple will no doubt continue to share updates on her health as time goes on. The first one was how their living space was too small, with Shekinah and her daughter already living in the house. If Sarpa was added to the accommodation, it left no space for the three of them to be together. During this time, Sarpa would have to go outside when she had a client over at her house. The bodybuilder from Turkey then fell into trouble with Shekinah's friend, whom she dated once, but nothing happened between the two. His name is Dan, and he was skeptical about her relationship with Sarpe, which started a cold war between the two. At the end, Sarpa went ahead and hoisted a white flag as a peace offering to Dan, and that settled the score. However, the troubles did not stop there, as Shekinah then asked him to sign a prenup before the marriage. This shocked him, and it created yet another fiasco for the couple. Right now, with the 90 Day Fiancé tell right around the corner, Sarpa has revealed yet another factor in his marriage that is troubling and making him unhappy. He says he does not like the responsibility aspect of the bond. 90 Day Fiancé stars. Shekinah Garner and Sarpa Govan are getting candid about their marriage issues. The pair, who recently said their I-dos in bed, literally make it pretty clear the honeymoon's over in a preview clip from this week's 90 Day Fiancé tell-all. In the footage, Garner sounded content when talking about her wedding ceremony, but she quickly broke down into tears, revealing they've since been having a number of problems. Her sister, it was perfect, and I loved how intimate it was. There was no one else there, and it was just really special, she said. But now I feel like I'm going to get emotional, just everything changed after we got married, and that was my biggest fear, and it just came true. Sarpa changed, our dynamic changed, because now we're in the US and he moved into my place, which I know is hard because it does feel like it's my place, you know, Garner said. But Sarpa went through a really bad depression, and it brought up a lot of anger from him at me. Govan then admitted he's not in the best place mentally. I am always the control freak, so I have to control things, and when I don't control things, I feel depressed. If you ask me, I don't like the marriage, he disclosed, leaving their co-stars and Garner shocked. In an interview with Extra this week, the couple talked about how their hardships have changed since marriage, while showing they're still together, both rocking their wedding rings. We have definitely continued to face challenges, just new ones, so we overcame the obstacles of long distance, of going through the whole visa process, and now it's on to the new challenges, and it hasn't been easy, Garner said. We're just having to acclimate to living together, and him trying to live in a new country has been really difficult because there's just so many things that make him feel so out of his element. If we can get through the things we've already survived, we can get through everything, I think, she added. We love each other, at least that holds the relationship in an axis, but I hope the strength will be enough, Govan added. You can watch the 90-Day Fiancé Tell All Special Sunday, June 22nd at 8 p.m. on TLC. In the emotional moment, Shekinah and Sapa admit they are already struggling in their marriage. Shekinah speaks of the wedding saying it was perfect, and I loved how intimate it was. There was no one else there, and it was just really special. Starting to cry, she continues. But now I feel like I'm going to get emotional. Just everything changed after we got married. And that was my biggest fear, and it just came true. Sapa agrees, saying mine too. She says it has been hard with Sapa's move-in. Shekinah explains, Sapa changed, our dynamic changed because now we're in the US and he moved into my place, which I know is hard because it does feel like it's my place, you know. But Sapa went through a really bad depression and it brought up a lot of anger from him at me. Sapa says his depression comes from feeling like he's not in control. He confesses, I am always the control freak, so I have to control things, and when I don't control things, I feel depressed. If you ask me, I don't like the marriage. When moderator Sean Robinson asks, you don't like the marriage? Sapa looks down and replies, no. Extra recently caught up with Shekinah and Sapa to talk about their marriage. Shekinah opened up about how much they've been through together already and feeling like they can get through anything. She admitted, we have definitely continued to face challenges, just new ones, so we overcame the obstacles of long distance, of going through the whole visa process, and now it's on to the new challenges and it hasn't been easy. We're just having to acclimate to living together, and him trying to live in a new country has been really difficult because there's just so many things that make him feel so out of his element. While Sapa acknowledged ups and downs during their 3-year relationship, he said, we love other. At least that holds the relationship in an axis, but I hope the strength will be enough. 90-Day Fiancé Tell All Part 1 airs Sunday at 8 p.m. ET PT on TLC.